Have you noticed lately that walking feels harder than it used to? Maybe your legs tire quickly, or you find yourself worrying about losing balance and falling. It's something many of us quietly face as the years pass, feeling weaker, less steady, and sometimes a little frustrated. But here's a thought that might surprise you. What if it's not just because we're getting old or moving less? What if there's a simple reason behind this change that most people overlook? This little-known truth could change how you think about staying active after 70. In today's video, I'm going to share 2 gentle but powerful activities that can help you regain strength and confidence without exhausting yourself on endless walks. Stick around, because by the end, you'll discover habits that can make a real difference in your daily life, helping you feel more vibrant and steady, one step at a time. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. Why walking may no longer be the best choice after 70. For many years, walking has been the go-to answer for anyone hoping to stay healthy in their golden years. Doctors mention it at every checkup, family members encourage it, and the media seems to sing its praises on every channel. Maybe you remember your parents or neighbors heading out for their daily stroll, chatting with friends along the way, and returning with a satisfied smile. Walking is so deeply woven into the American vision of healthy aging that most of us don't even question it. It's just what we do. But as the years go by, something begins to change. At first, it's subtle. A slight ache in the knees, maybe a twinge in the lower back that you didn't notice before. You brush it off as part of getting older. But then, the simple act of walking starts to lose its ease. You might find yourself stopping more often to catch your breath, or you might start to worry about uneven sidewalks and curbs that never bothered you in your younger days. If you use a cane or a walker, each block feels longer than the last, and you return home not refreshed, but tired, sometimes more tired than you expected. This is the moment where many seniors sigh and think, well, this must just be old age catching up with me. Maybe you keep pushing yourself out of habit or a sense of duty, or perhaps you quietly let your walks get shorter, hoping no one notices. Some even start to feel guilty, as if they're letting themselves, or their families, down. It's a quiet struggle, often not spoken aloud, but deeply felt. But let's pause here and consider a different possibility. Is it true that walking is always the best thing for us after 70? Or could there be more to this story? What if the aches, fatigue, or even the fear of falling aren't just an unavoidable part of aging, but signals from your body that it's time for a new approach? For generations, the advice has been simple: just walk more, and you'll stay healthy. But the truth, as science is now revealing, is more nuanced. After 70, our bodies change in ways that walking alone cannot fully address. Let's look at why that is. First, let's talk about muscles and bones. After the age of 30, most people slowly begin to lose muscle mass and bone density, a process called sarcopenia and osteopenia, respectively. For decades, the body adapts without much fuss, but after 70, these changes can speed up. It's a quiet process. You might not notice it until one day you realize that standing up from a chair feels a little harder, or lifting the groceries from the car is suddenly a 2-step affair. Walking, while wonderful for your heart and lungs, doesn't do much to challenge or rebuild muscle strength. It's a steady, rhythmic motion. Good for circulation and mood, yes, but not enough to halt or reverse the muscle loss that accelerates as we age. Without strong muscles, the legs become less steady, the back more prone to aches, and the risk of falling climbs higher with each year. It's no wonder that so many older adults report feeling more tired after walks, or even sore in unexpected places. Then there's the matter of balance. Balance isn't something we think about until it starts to slip away. In youth, the body's sense of equilibrium is strong. But with age, small changes in vision, hearing, sensation in the feet, and core muscle strength add up. Suddenly walking, especially on uneven pavement or busy sidewalks, feels less like a pleasure and more like a test. The fear of tripping, stumbling, or falling becomes very real. Studies show that falls are one of the leading causes of injury among Americans over 70, and that walking alone, without specific balance training, does little to prevent them. Let's not forget about joints. With every step, the knees, hips, and ankles absorb the body's weight. Years of use, sometimes arthritis, sometimes old injuries, can make these joints creakier and more sensitive. On good days, walking might feel okay. On bad days, the joints protest with every step. Too often, well-meaning advice to just keep walking leads to overuse, inflammation, or even new injuries. And of course, energy levels are not what they used to be. As we age, our stamina naturally declines. If you notice your walks are leaving you more drained than energized, you're not alone. The body's ability to recover shrinks with age, and pushing too hard can backfire, leading to days of lingering fatigue or soreness. So why, then, do we keep holding on to the idea that walking is the golden ticket to health after 70? The answer, in part, is tradition, and in part, a misunderstanding of what the body truly needs as it gets older. Here's what science and geriatric specialists are now emphasizing. To stay strong, steady, and independent after 70, we need to focus less on the quantity of movement, how many steps you take, and more on the quality of movement, especially exercises that build strength and improve balance. Think of your body as a well-loved car. In its early years, regular drives kept it in good shape. But as it ages, you don't just keep driving it farther and farther. You pay more attention to maintenance, strengthen what's under the hood, and treat it with care. Your body deserves that same thoughtful approach. This doesn't mean you need to give up walking altogether. Not at all. A pleasant stroll is still good for the mind and spirit. But it does mean recognizing when walking alone isn't enough, and when it's time to add something new to your routine. So, what should you do instead? The good news is, you don't need fancy gym memberships or complicated routines. Adding simple strength and balance exercises to your daily life can make a world of difference. For example, standing up and sitting down from a chair, without using your hands, is a fantastic way to strengthen the legs. Lifting light hand weights, using resistance bands, or even using soup cans from your pantry can help rebuild muscle and make everyday activities easier. Balance exercises can be as simple as standing on one foot while holding on to a sturdy chair, or walking in a straight line heel to toe across the room. Gentle stretching keeps the joints flexible and less prone to stiffness. And these activities, done just a few times a week, have been shown to reduce the risk of falls, increase energy, and even lift mood. Let me tell you about someone who tried this change and saw remarkable results. A few years ago, I met a man named Harold at the community center. Harold was 78 at the time, and he'd been a faithful walker for decades. But after a nasty fall on a slippery sidewalk, he found himself anxious, unsteady, and a little depressed. He tried to go back to walking, but every step felt uncertain. His doctor recommended a new approach: less walking, more strength and balance work. Harold was skeptical. "I've always been a walker," he said. But he was willing to try. He started with simple chair exercises, working up to resistance bands and light weights. He practiced standing on one foot while brushing his teeth, and added a few gentle stretches each morning. The changes didn't happen overnight, but within a couple of months, Harold felt more confident. His legs were stronger, his balance improved, and he no longer dreaded going outside. He still enjoyed the occasional walk, but now he moved with a new sense of control and assurance. Harold often joked, "I may walk less these days, but I'm living more." If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Harold's story isn't unique. Across the country, more and more seniors are discovering that walking, while comforting and familiar, isn't the only, or even the best, path to health after 70. By listening to their bodies and trying new routines, they're finding strength, balance, and renewed independence. Maybe you're reading this and recognizing your own experience in Harold's journey. Maybe you, too, have been quietly struggling, wondering why something that used to feel so easy has become a chore. If so, let me reassure you, you're not alone. And there's nothing wrong with needing to adapt. Our bodies are constantly changing, and the best thing we can do is change with them. Gently, patiently, and with kindness for ourselves. So next time you hear someone say, "Just walk more, it's the best exercise," remember, after 70, your body deserves more than just old advice. Permit yourself to try new things, to build strength in new ways, and to take pride in every step, no matter how slow or small it might seem. Because health in our later years isn't about keeping up with old routines. It's about creating new ones that honor where we are, right now. You are stronger than you think, and your journey is far from over. Every day is a new chance to choose what's best for your well-being. Walking less doesn't mean living less. Sometimes, it's just the beginning of something better. Activity 1. Gentle strength training. Have you ever stood up from your favorite armchair and felt your legs wobble just a bit? Maybe you've noticed that carrying groceries from the car is harder than it used to be. These small struggles often creep into our lives quietly as we get older. At first, they seem like minor annoyances, a momentary sense of weakness, a little more effort needed to get up the stairs, or a hesitation before reaching for something on a high shelf. You might brush it off, thinking, "I'm just having a slow day." Or perhaps you accept it as an inevitable part of aging, something everyone goes through. After all, who hasn't heard the old saying, "Getting old isn't for sissies"? But what if there's more to it than just age? What if the weakness you're feeling, those little stumbles or tired muscles, aren't simply a result of the years passing by? Is it possible that by focusing only on walking or staying active in general, we've missed something critical? Something that could make daily life easier, safer, and even more joyful? Let's turn this question upside down. Is it truly normal to lose so much strength after 70, or could we do something gentle and effective to regain what's been lost? For decades, the fitness advice for seniors has centered around walking, gardening, and keeping busy. These are wonderful habits, no doubt. But science now tells us that there's a quiet power in building strength. Yes, even in your 70s, 80s, and beyond. So, why does strength matter so much, and why do we lose it as we get older? After about age 30, most adults begin to lose muscle mass in a slow, steady process called sarcopenia. You probably never noticed it at first. A little less spring in your step, perhaps, or muscles that just didn't recover as quickly from a busy day. By age 70, however, this loss can accelerate, and it starts to affect the muscles you rely on for everything. Getting out of a chair, keeping your balance, lifting your arms to put on a shirt, or stepping safely over a curb. Weak muscles don't just make us feel older. They increase the risk of falls, fractures, and a loss of independence. Walking, while excellent for heart and lung health, doesn't challenge your muscles enough to keep them strong. Think about it. When you walk, your body moves in a familiar, repetitive pattern. Your legs carry your weight, but rarely do they have to work in the way that builds strength. The same goes for your arms, core, and back. Over time, if you're not using those muscles, they slowly shrink, becoming less effective and less able to protect your joints or spine. But here's the good news, wonderful, life-affirming news. It's never too late to start regaining strength. The human body is amazingly adaptable, even in later years. Gentle strength training can rebuild muscle, improve balance, boost energy, and make daily tasks much less of a chore. Even better, you don't need fancy equipment, a gym membership, or a personal trainer. All you need is a willingness to try, and a few minutes a day. So, what exactly is gentle strength training, and how can you make it a part of your life? Let's start with the basics. Strength training simply means doing activities that make your muscles work a bit harder than usual. This can be as simple as standing up and sitting down from a chair without using your hands, or as light as lifting a can of soup in each hand. You can use your own body weight, resistance bands, or even water bottles as tools. The key is slow, controlled movement and focusing on the muscles that help you move, bend, reach, and stay balanced. Here are a few examples of gentle strength exercises anyone can do at home. 1. Chair stands. Sit in a sturdy chair. Cross your arms over your chest or place your hands on your thighs. Stand up slowly, using your legs as much as possible, and then sit back down. Try to do this 10 times in a row, resting as needed. This simple move builds strength in your thighs, hips, and core. 2. Wall push UPS. Stand facing a wall, an arm's length away. Place your hands flat on the wall at shoulder height. Keeping your body straight, bend your elbows and lean in toward the wall, then push back to the starting position. Repeat 10 times. This gentle push-up works your chest, shoulders, and arms, without ever having to get on the floor. 3. Leg lifts. Hold on to the back of a sturdy chair for balance. Slowly lift one leg out to the side, keeping it straight, then lower it back down. Do this 10 times on each leg. This exercise strengthens your hips and helps with stability. 4. Bicep curls. Take 2 cans of food or small water bottles. Hold one in each hand, arms at your sides. Slowly bend your elbows to bring your hands toward your shoulders, then lower them. Repeat 10 times. This move helps keep your arms strong for lifting, carrying, and reaching. 5. Heel raises. Hold the back of a chair for balance. Slowly rise onto your tiptoes, hold for a second, then lower back down. Repeat 10 times. This exercise builds strength in your calves and ankles, helping with walking and balance. The beauty of these exercises is that you can do them almost anywhere. While watching TV, waiting for the kettle to boil, or listening to your favorite music. And you don't have to do them all at once. Even just 5 or 10 minutes a day, a few days a week, can lead to real improvement over time. But you might still be thinking, isn't this a little late for me? Or, what if I haven't exercised in years? Let me share a real story that might change your mind. Margaret was 83 when she started gentle strength training. After a bad winter, fall left her with a fractured wrist, and Margaret was afraid to go outside. She stopped her daily walks, spent more time sitting, and felt herself getting weaker by the week. Her daughter convinced her to join a senior exercise class at the local community center. Margaret was skeptical. She'd never seen herself as athletic. But the first class was filled with people her age, moving slowly and carefully, laughing and cheering each other on. The instructor showed them how to do simple chair stands and bicep curls with soft hand weights. Margaret struggled at first, but within a month, she was able to stand up from her favorite recliner without pushing off with her hands. Her confidence soared. The following spring, Margaret returned to her garden, tending her roses and picking tomatoes, strong and steady once again. Margaret's story is just one of thousands. The science backs it up. Even people in their 80s and 90s can regain strength, balance, and independence through gentle strength training. A study from Tufts University showed that seniors who engaged in simple strength exercises twice a week experienced fewer falls, less arthritis pain, and greater energy. The changes were not just physical. Participants reported feeling more hopeful, capable, and connected to life. Of course, it's important to be gentle with yourself and listen to your body. If you haven't been active for a while, start slow. Maybe just 1 or 2 exercises a day. If you have any health concerns, talk to your doctor or a physical therapist before beginning. Many communities offer senior-friendly classes at local YMCAs or recreation centers, where you can meet others on the same journey. The most important thing is to keep moving and stay consistent. It's not about lifting heavy weights or working up a sweat like an Olympian. It's about reclaiming your ability to get out of bed with confidence, climb the porch steps, play with your grandchildren, or reach for your favorite mug without fear. Gentle strength training helps keep your independence and dignity intact, a gift that matters deeply as the years go by. So the next time you notice that getting up feels harder, or your arms tire quickly, don't just chalk it up to old age. Remember that your muscles are still there, waiting for a gentle wake-up call. With just a few minutes a day, you can rebuild strength, regain energy, and discover that it's never too late to invest in yourself. You are not defined by the years on your calendar, but by the choices you make every day. Choosing gentle strength training is not just an exercise routine. It's a statement of self-care and hope for the future. Your body may have changed, but it is still capable of growing stronger, steadier, and more resilient. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Let yourself begin, no matter how small the step. Celebrate every little victory, a few extra chair stands, a steadier walk across the living room, a new sense of confidence as you reach for life's possibilities. Because strength, at any age, is a gift you give yourself. And you deserve it. Activity 2. Balance and flexibility exercises. Have you ever stood in the middle of your living room, maybe on your way to fetch a glass of water, and suddenly felt the room tilt just a bit? Or maybe you caught your foot on the edge of a rug, your heart skipping a beat as you steadied yourself. Perhaps you find yourself reaching for the wall or a countertop more often than before, even if it's just for a moment. It's a quiet shift that sneaks into our days as we age, a subtle loss of balance or an unfamiliar stiffness that makes everyday movements more cautious. These moments are so common among people over 70 that we tend to brush them off as just part of getting older. Maybe you remember watching your parents shuffle carefully around the house, or you've caught yourself warning your spouse, "Be careful, don't slip." You might chalk it up to bad shoes, a dizzy spell, or old bones. And when your back feels stiff in the morning or you can't reach quite as high as you used to, it's easy to think, well, that's what happens after 70. But what if I told you it doesn't have to be this way? What if feeling unsteady or stiff isn't just an unavoidable part of aging, but a gentle nudge from your body asking for a little extra care, a chance to move, stretch, and grow in new ways? It's easy to accept loss of balance and flexibility as fate, but what if instead, we saw them as signals? Signals that invite us to pay attention and offer our body something simple, loving, and deeply effective. For decades, the advice has been to keep moving. That's not wrong, but as science has caught up with real life, experts have discovered that how we move matters just as much as how much we move. Balance and flexibility exercises aren't just for dancers or athletes. They're for anyone who wants to walk across the living room with confidence, get out of bed easily in the morning, or enjoy a sunny day in the garden without worrying about tripping over a hose. The beauty of these exercises is that they don't require youth, athletic skill, or even much time, just an open mind and a willingness to gently honor your body's needs. Let's start with the science in the simplest terms. As we get older, our sense of balance naturally changes. This happens for several reasons. Our eyesight might not be as sharp, making it harder to judge distances. The little sensors in our feet, called proprioceptors, become less sensitive, so it's harder to know where our feet are in space. Inner ear changes can make us feel a bit more wobbly. At the same time, we often lose flexibility in our muscles and joints. Years of use, old injuries, arthritis, and simply spending more time sitting up. Suddenly it feels like you need a minute to unfold before getting out of bed, or you avoid bending over because your back twinges. The trouble is, these changes don't just make life less comfortable. They can increase your risk of falling. And falls, as we all know, are a leading cause of injury and loss of independence in older adults. But here's the truly hopeful part. Balance and flexibility are not set in stone. With just a little practice, you can make real improvements, no matter your age or starting point. Let's talk about what balance exercises look like. You don't need a fancy yoga mat or special clothes. All you need is a sturdy chair, maybe a countertop, and a safe, quiet space. Here are some gentle, effective ways to get started. 1. Stand on one leg. Hold the back of a sturdy chair for support. Stand tall and gently lift one foot off the floor. Hold for as long as you can, up to 30 seconds, then switch legs. It's okay if you can only manage a few seconds at first. With time, your balance will improve. 2. Heel-to-toe walk. Imagine you're walking on a tightrope. Place one foot directly in front of the other, so the heel of your front foot touches the toes of your back foot each step. Use a hallway wall for support if you need to. This simple exercise sharpens your coordination and stability. 3. Side stepping. Stand with feet together, knees slightly bent. Step to the side, bringing your other foot to meet it. Repeat across the room, then back. This builds lateral strength and steadiness. Flexibility exercises are just as gentle, and you can do them throughout your day. 1. Shoulder rolls. Sit or stand tall. Slowly roll your shoulders forward in a big circle, then backward. This relieves tension and keeps your upper body limber. 2. Neck stretches. Lower your chin gently toward your chest, then turn your head slowly from side to side. Hold each position for a few breaths. This keeps your neck mobile and helps with posture. 3. Gentle twists. Sit in a chair. Cross your arms over your chest and slowly turn your upper body to one side, then the other. This loosens your back and helps with reaching movements. 4. Ankle circles. While sitting, lift one foot and rotate your ankle in circles, both ways. Healthy ankles help prevent stumbles. The key to both balance and flexibility exercises is consistency. Even 5 or 10 minutes a day can make a difference. You might be surprised by how quickly your body responds. Less stiffness in the morning, more confidence on the stairs, and easier time reaching that top cupboard. It's not about perfection or pushing through pain. It's about gentle, mindful practice. You might wonder, is it too late for me? My balance is terrible. I'm not flexible at all. Let me share the story of James, a 76-year-old grandfather from Ohio. After a minor fall in his driveway, James became anxious and started avoiding the activities he loved. Walking his dog, working in his workshop, even dancing with his wife in the kitchen. His doctor recommended a local balance class for seniors, but James was skeptical. He pictured a room full of people stretching in impossible ways. But with his daughter's encouragement, he tried it. At the first class, James struggled to stand on one foot for even 3 seconds. But the instructor reminded him that everyone starts somewhere, and that progress was something to celebrate, not rush. Week by week, James practiced at home, holding onto his countertop while brushing his teeth, pausing for a heel-to-toe walk down the hallway, gently stretching his back each morning. Within a month, James found himself moving with more ease. His dog walks became longer, his steps steadier, and his confidence brighter. The next time his wife played their favorite song, James took her hand and spun her gently around the kitchen, both of them laughing. For James, those small exercises opened up his world again. His story isn't unusual. In senior centers, retirement communities, and homes across America, thousands of older adults are reclaiming their freedom through balance and flexibility. Studies show that regular balance exercises can reduce fall risk by up to 40%, a remarkable figure. Flexibility keeps muscles and joints supple, easing pain and making movement more enjoyable. Together, they add not just years to your life, but life to your years. What's beautiful about this journey is that you don't need to do it alone. Many communities offer group classes, chair yoga, gentle tai chi, balance boot camps, tailored for every level. If you prefer to stay home, you can find videos and online groups. Some people make it a family affair, challenging grandchildren to balance contests, or stretching together while watching TV. The point isn't competition. It's connection to your body, your spirit, and those you love. And what about those bad days? The mornings when your joints ache or you just don't feel up to it? That's okay. Even on those days, a few gentle stretches, a mindful breath, or simply standing tall for a minute helps. The habit of tuning into your body, offering it kindness and movement, builds resilience that goes far beyond muscle and bone. You are not your stiffness or your stumbles. You are not defined by an occasional fall or a creaky back. You are a whole person, still full of potential for growth, change, and joy. Balance and flexibility exercises are not about chasing youth. They're about claiming your power to move, live, and savor each day, whatever your age. So, tomorrow morning, as sunlight pours through your window, why not begin with a gentle stretch or a simple balance pose? Picture James, steadying himself by the counter, smiling at how far he's come. Picture yourself, standing tall, a little more limber, a little less afraid, and ready for whatever the day brings. Every wobble is an opportunity. Every stretch is a gift you give yourself. Your journey is unique, but you're never alone. Across the country, people just like you are rediscovering strength and grace, one small movement at a time. So take a deep breath, steady yourself, and know that the path to better balance and flexibility is always open. Today is a wonderful day to begin. If you'd strolled through Oakwood Park on any morning a few years back, chances are you'd have seen Mary making her rounds. She was one of those people whose presence seemed to brighten up the path, always quick with a smile, sometimes chatting with the other regulars, simply soaking in the sunrise. At 75, walking had become more than just exercise for Mary. It was her way of greeting the day, clearing her mind, and keeping a little spring in her step. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. But as the seasons turned, Mary began noticing something she hadn't expected. Where once her walks left her refreshed and energized, she now found herself growing tired, her legs aching a little more with each mile. Sometimes her knees would complain, sending a sharp reminder as she climbed a curb or took a longer stride. What had once been easy was starting to feel, well, like work. She brushed it off at first. After all, she was getting older, and everyone always says that aches and pains are just part of the deal, right? Most of her friends seemed to accept it, too. That's just how it goes, one neighbor told her, rubbing his stiff joints. Just keep moving and try not to think about it. But Mary couldn't help but wonder, was it really that simple? Was walking truly all she needed to keep her body healthy and strong, or was there more she could do? Was there another way, a gentler, smarter way, to stay active without inviting more pain into her day? She started asking questions, quietly at first. At a community center luncheon, Mary brought up her concerns to a visiting physical therapist. The specialist smiled kindly and asked, "Mary, have you ever tried gentle strength or balance exercises?" Mary shook her head. She had always assumed those were for athletes or people much younger than herself. Besides, she'd always heard that walking was the best way for older adults to stay healthy. But as they talked, Mary began to see things differently. The therapist explained that, while walking is wonderful for the heart and mind, it doesn't do much to strengthen the muscles that support your joints or to improve balance as we age. Think of it this way, the specialist said. Walking is like cruising on a well-paved road. But sometimes, we need to take care of the engine and the tires, too. Over time, especially after age 70, our muscles and joints naturally lose some of their strength and flexibility. This isn't just about growing older. It's about how our bodies change and what they need from us. When our muscles get weaker, particularly the muscles in our legs, hips, and core, it puts more pressure on the joints to do the hard work. Every step we take sends force through the knees and hips, and if those muscles aren't strong enough to help out, it's no wonder we start to feel aches and pains. Add in a gradual loss of balance, which is perfectly normal as we age. And suddenly, that daily walk can turn from a joy into a chore, or even a risk. Mary listened, intrigued but a little skeptical. Could something as simple as gentle strength and balance exercises make a difference? The therapist reassured her, absolutely. You don't have to become a weightlifter. Even small, regular efforts, like standing up from a chair without using your hands, or practicing standing on one foot, can strengthen the muscles that protect your joints and help you move with more confidence. The key, she explained, is to start small and listen to your body. Consistency matters more than intensity. Encouraged, Mary agreed to give it a try. She scheduled a few sessions with a therapist, learning a short routine she could do at home. They started with chair stands, wall push-ups, and easy balance drills using the kitchen counter for support. At first, the exercises felt awkward and a bit humbling. She wobbled, her muscles trembled, and she had to remind herself that everyone has to start somewhere. But Mary stuck with it. She made a promise to herself to spend just 10 or 15 minutes each morning, right after breakfast, practicing her new moves. Within a couple of weeks, Mary noticed the first small change. Her knees weren't quite so sore after her walks. Soon, she found herself getting up from the couch with more ease. Standing on one foot, which had seemed impossible at first, now became a fun little challenge. Something she did while brushing her teeth or waiting for the kettle to boil. The most surprising thing was the shift in her energy. Instead of feeling wiped out after a walk, Mary came home with a sense of accomplishment and still had enough pep to tend to her garden or call a friend. The science behind her improvement was simple but powerful. Our bodies are designed to adapt. Even in our 70s, 80s, and beyond, the muscles respond to gentle challenges by growing stronger and more resilient. Balance training, no matter how basic, helps retrain the body's sense of position and movement, reducing the risk of falls and making every step more secure. And because these exercises support the joints, they can reduce the kind of pain Mary had been living with for months. One afternoon, a few months into her new routine, Mary met her neighbor George during her walk. He noticed she was moving more confidently and asked if she'd been doing something different. Mary grinned and shared her story, encouraging George to join her for a short session in the park the next day. To her delight, George brought his wife along, and soon the trio turned their morning walks into a mini exercise group, stretching, balancing, and cheering each other on as they improved together. What Mary discovered along the way was more than just a solution to joint pain. She realized that small changes in her habits, a few minutes of strength and balance training each day, brought a cascade of positive effects. Not only did she feel physically stronger and more stable, but she also regained her sense of independence and joy. Tasks that had started to feel daunting, like carrying groceries, reaching for a book on the shelf, or simply stepping off the curb, became easier, safer, and almost automatic again. Mary's story is far from unique. Across the country, seniors just like her are finding that embracing new routines, even modest ones, can open the door to a more active, enjoyable life. Sometimes, it takes a little nudge, a conversation with a professional, a supportive friend, or just a moment of curiosity, to try something different. And sometimes, that small act of courage is enough to transform not just the body, but the spirit. So if you're reading this and thinking, that sounds like me, remember Mary's journey. You don't have to let joint pain or a fear of falling define your days. You don't have to accept fatigue and weakness as the price of getting older. Start where you are. Try a simple chair stand, a balance pose by the kitchen counter, or a gentle stretch in the morning sun. Give yourself time and patience. Your body will thank you in ways both big and small. Let Mary's story be your inspiration. You have the power to shape your oath, no matter your age or experience. Small changes truly can bring joy, energy, and confidence into your later years. Every step, every stretch, every act of self-care is a celebration of the life you're living, and the many adventures still to come. As we come to the end of our journey today, I hope you're feeling encouraged, informed, and maybe just a little inspired. Growing older isn't always easy, but it's filled with opportunities to learn, adapt, and thrive in new ways. If you've ever found yourself feeling frustrated by tired legs, stiff joints, or worries about your balance, know that you are far from alone. These challenges are a natural part of life, but they don't have to hold you back. We've seen through Mary's story, and the latest science, that making small, intentional changes in your daily routine can make a world of difference. Gentle strength training and simple balance exercises aren't just for athletes or fitness enthusiasts. They are for everyone, especially those of us who want to keep living life on our terms. Even 10 or 15 minutes a day can lead to stronger muscles, steadier steps, and a renewed sense of confidence. Remember, it's never too late to start something new. Your body is capable of adapting, healing, and growing stronger, no matter your age. Every step you take to care for yourself, no matter how small, adds up over time. Celebrate your progress, be patient with yourself, and don't be afraid to ask for support or try new things. Thank you for spending your time with me today. If you found these ideas helpful or inspiring, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Please share your thoughts or your own stories of change. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more gentle, practical advice for living your best life after 70. Take care, and remember, you are stronger than you think.